Yay, yay, yay. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. You might see me look up or down or so. I'm trying to offer for the first time the new moon oracle for March to honor, I guess, spring and to honor and allow the messages and the process to get out to more is cross-platform. So hello, hello, welcome. Will be on YouTube, as you will see if I look here. It is to my lovelies that are accessing this live via YouTube. And if I look up here, it's because I am checking the live that I am also sharing on Instagram at the same time. So it was actually, I was able to see and connect with, if you don't know, spiritual Dr. Afi on Instagram. He does an incredible spirit channeled connection each Tuesday on Tarot Tuesdays. And I saw how he did it so easily. So I was inspired to see if I could do it as easeful. Welcome to New Moon Oracle. New Moon actually this time around is on Saturday this week. So we're connecting a little earlier than normal. And but I think that's always special because I don't know about you, a lot of my new moon rituals tend to be very going inwards, very, very personal and very intimate. So this is a way that we can connect and discuss some of those contemplation points prior to you stepping into the window that is new moon. I'm always guided to do a gentle centering at the beginning so I can connect to who is here. You're always welcome to also share, if you wish to, in the chat and say hello. And but the energies where I'm living in just north of Toronto in Canada, the energy for the first day today really just felt, you could feel the promise in the air. You could feel spring. You could feel the joy that the seasons bring. And as we move towards equinox is March 20th. And equinox is, as is solstice, a very, very potent gateway. And so I'd like to also see what comes through about preparing and being in preparation for that gateway. And if you have questions about what it means to even be, like, what does that gateway mean? What does the portal mean? I'm welcome to share as needed. So I hope you all have some tea. Today I was guided to make some burdock root tea. I'm excited for that. And so you can have some hydration, allow yourself to get comfy. I also have water. You can light a candle. I have already done so. And allow yourself to take some deep breaths. You can close your eyes. Just for this initial centering. To allow yourself to open to your senses. Open and welcome the sounds that are around you. Knowing that sounds are not here to inhibit or make it difficult to connect. They are here as guides of what may be inhibiting you to connect. To feel and to sense the these initial moments of silence, and to even potentially listen to what's moving through the mind. What thoughts are prominent this week, this day? And as you observe and listen to those thoughts, to witness your reaction to them, to see if you can allow them to surface. And as they surface, to gently and easily move from your headspace into the ethers, into the air around you. To enjoy sometimes now this space between thoughts, between reactions, and feelings. Just as you may discover some space between the inhale and the exhale. And to allow now your gaze to move more and more towards center. Locating your center. And welcoming all that surfaces. Be it on the pleasure or the pain spectrum. All of how your body is responding, your mind responding, your emotions responding to this connection to center. Until it all be welcome. To feel as if you're gathering all those parts of self that surface into your center. And as the energy becomes more palpable, to begin and to envision the container, a basket, a bowl, a box, that container that encircles your center. And in feeling that first layer of protection within, to see as you breathe how your center expands with your breath. Finding the capacity and the size of your heart container that feels comfortable for you today. And then to move, when you feel so ready, the energy from your heart, the energy of your truth, to move it through your being into the earth itself. Destination Earth Center. To feel all that you carry within you, either nourishing the soil itself or releasing what is no longer needed to be nutrients for that earth, for our earth. And to allow your roots to reach out, to connect to those that wish to share space from the heart, from center, from truth. At this point in time now, I welcome you. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes. Welcome, welcome. Yay. So nice to see. It's neat because on Instagram, I see the names of who joined. And on YouTube, I never get to see unless you fill the chat. Welcome, Jody. Welcome. Welcome, Lauren. Welcome, Ashley. That was lovely. Thank you for sharing that initial connection, be it in full or be it in part. I can feel some energy and information that is coming up around speed. And it's neat because last new moon oracle, I remember in February new moon oracle, I was really talking about time cycles and how, of course, which was utilized, the idea of kind of presence or the now, being in the center, being in that center. And so then if something is then in complete movement always, then what is present or what is future kind of gets blurred, which is, of course, then how sometimes who we connect to that we may sense our ancestors may actually be that we're their ancestors. They're connecting to us from a future point in time. But what is coming through from our first initial heart connection is instead of finding where we are at in time, of sensing the shift of movement that comes with a shift of season, that comes with a shift of cycle, be it from winter cycle to spring, and how naturally there is a shift in intensity. Um, and of course, all the work that we have been doing and we've been working on since, goodness, last March, when we first in Canada went into isolation, was, slowing down, was learning how to give more time to rest, give more time to sleep, give more time to eat, and find a different pace. So, yes, Angie, we may actually be their ancestors. Exactly, exactly. Welcome, welcome. So, the so you feel like, I don't know if anyone else resonates with this, but like it was such a deep journey, a year's journey almost, since we're now in mid-March, of really learning to revolutionize rest and to look deeply at how we work and what we carry around work. Be it that, is that how you evaluate your worth? Is that how you do you equate your integrity, your capacity for things, your truth? Is that equated almost on a scale with how much you work or how productive you are? And so what I'm getting is almost an uncertainty. And please fill me in if I'm right, and if this is bringing up additional questions. You're always welcome to chat and bring more questions in, or what you are also receiving, since I know I am sitting in presence with such beautiful intuitives and people who have been moving through bringing more of themselves in sync with the moon cycles, in sync with their natural cycle of the body, of spirit, of soul. So in that, what I'm getting is what is coming up for you at this point in time. When march forward, it even sounds like all of a sudden we're going to start marching, right? Of this, of the beauty and excitement and the promise that comes in this time of year. What is coming up then around how you want to continue in speed, in how to manage and how to work through the cycles of time. And it almost feels like there's a bit of an intensity, or going like, does this mean now that I have to speed up? Does this mean now that I have to like get back onto a schedule, and have everything booked a certain way? Because naturally the energy that you're sensing around you is surging. Things will start to peek through the soil. Things will start to show growth, right? And so in growth, there's, even I'm getting this vision of, like teenagers, of when they all of a sudden, like, you don't see them for like even 4 or 5 months, and all of a sudden they grew like a foot, or they shifted, they grow in such fast ways. And so what is coming up around the speed of spring? What is coming up for you around the speed of how we are accelerating our growth and our capacity to heal, to surface, to release things? Things are being accessed in such a great and profound clarity, and with such a much more easeful flow of things. So how do you flow in the speed of growth, the speed of promise, the speed of possibility, while still honoring your rhythm, your natural rhythm that feels okay, I'm getting it. It feels comfortable. Your rhythm that feels that is nurturing and allowing you to do all this deep work. Okay, I'm seeing comments says this last year has been around learning how to work more in alignment with my growth and consciousness. Absolutely, absolutely. So, as we move through these cycles in more and more alignment, and knowing though that alignment is not static. Alignment is not alignment, and I spoke of this, I'm not sure in which group recently, but when we think of aligning ourselves to something, right? We sometimes think then it's going to be this kind of static point, that in that alignment, then there is no more change. We've got it. We've accessed the truth. And instead of thinking that, right, we now know that change is the constant. Fluidity is the constant. Stability is, as I love to say, it's stability, let it be for a table. It's not for our human capacity, because the more and more that we walk this path, the more and more that we clearly move onwards into further access of our truth, into furthering access to our center, that alignment, that polarity, our access will naturally shift, right? Because we shift. It's kind of the cool thing of I always look from micro to macro, because we're such, each of our beautiful beings is just like a small world. And so I always, of course, look to the earth. I look to learn about self in a more greater or more profound depth of way. And so when I think of alignment, you think of how the poles of Earth, even what north is south, like what is saying this is spring equinox to instead of it being fall equinox or autumn equinox. And how these two simultaneous opposite things are happening on the same date, on the same time, in the same alignment, but because of polarity of the Earth, just like we carry polarity, they will be completely sensed and experienced in a different way. And so us working in accessing center, us working in connecting towards that center of the earth, that center of self, allows you to kind of do that dance between the polarities of you, between your north and south, east, west, and to discover current alignment, the current that is alignment, the current that feels that you are flowing in tandem and in unison with your relations, with your world, with your perspectives, and with your truth. And so coming into March and coming into this gateway that is the equinox, stepping into a new moon, which asks us for even more contemplation. There's also possibly at this time, like going, really? Do I need to do more? Like, I've been working so hard. It's been such deep inner work for so long. It's been such a long winter. I've been moving and moving and moving so deep within self. And why is this cycle constant? Why does this cycle continue? Why is there still going to be a new moon? Why is there still going to be a full moon for us to access to and connect to? If we are sensing already so much of our truth, if we are sensing already so much of what makes us us. February as well was a deeply purifying month. It was one that was for the history books of February's, of really deep, intense shifts within, of almost, pulling out a little thread where you're going, oh, this thing has surfaced, and then taking all the way towards the root of the matter, something that may have then linked, something so surface simple in the now to back to childhood, back to ancestral memories, back to, there's so much that is, we now have the power to heal in this greater connection to our truth, in this greater connection to our awareness, and doing this work with such great intention. So let me know if things are coming up. I tend to just, I'm just receiving and I'm sharing, as if you haven't worked with me before, it's neat. I'm getting more comfortable working and facilitating now like this. And of course, work in circle, being the anchor, being the one to assist in co-creating the form of it. But in being in circle or being in connection and not being the anchor, like not being the facilitator, is still a very discombobulating experience for me, because I am so fluid with energy. I'll literally like come in and it feels like I'm just like swimming with everyone's energy and figuring it out. So it was what came to me in a recent circle that I was sitting in as a member, was how then we have to introduce ourselves, in the midst of going through all of the things of going, like, sussing out, is this is this a safe place? I trust this place. Okay. So then, how do I share of all that I am and all that I do in a timing that can be honoring of the collective energy and can be that little contribution that is required. And so what came to me then was to share a really simple question, and I'm going to share that with you all right now, is to put out, like, think of right now, what would be, from all the intense cycles that have passed, all the deep work in aligning yourself to truth, all the deep work in accessing all that you are, right? This is so big to then go, I am, fill in the blank, only one thing. So who are you? I work with. So what tools have you gathered? What skills? Or maybe it's an actual thing, right? I work with, fill in the blank, and I guide, fill in the blank. And that guide, the question with that was going, what is the thing that you are in service with? What is the thing that you are currently offering and feel comfortable in sharing with others? So I am, I work with, and I guide. You're welcome to share in the comments if you have something already. Mine was pretty simple. I work with energy. I am an artist. and I guide meditation. Somewhat is a good intro to who I am. But one thing in that, on top of knowing then how to introduce yourself in truth, because our practice, as we refine and access and have found our rhythm and found our rest, is then the speed that you're feeling within March, the speed that you're feeling that's coming into this season is asking you to grow, is asking you to start to step out of that comfort box, step out of that container. Step out doesn't mean jumping into spaces that make you feel all of a sudden that you will be harmed. It's of course bringing through your work with your healthy boundaries, with speaking your needs in a compassionate manner, so that you can then start to timidly expand those boundaries, timidly maybe even step beyond what that boundary is, that comfort level is, to allow some growth. Growth is a painful process. It's there's a compression, there's an intensity, but it also is the way that we can further share and connect. Humans have a natural desire for connection. We learn as much as we can and as much as we do within. Of course, the learning and the journey is within, but then from what we have gathered, we want to share it. We want to include others within the process. I love this statement. Thank you, Star Child. I am a star seed. I work with my ascended masters. And I guide humanity in adjusting to the new cycle or age. Beautiful, beautiful. Nice to be in presence with you. Welcome. That clarity of statement is what is coming through this new moon, is to, from the, the cesspool, the intensity of moving through the layers of boundaries, of needs, of healing from traumas, beliefs, of revealing more and more of self that we've been going through this winter. We are now really being asked to simplify and clarify, to be very clear of what you are growing, to be very clear of in all. And that clarity, is anyone feeling unclear at this moment? Is anyone feeling that they haven't received that certainty yet? Or is anyone, I'm getting like some still lack of 100% knowing that what you are doing or how you are choosing to move through your life is aligned with, dare I say the big P word, purpose? Okay, let's get some fun plant help for that. It's neat. Purpose. I recently actually posted something about this on my Insta, about how my purpose is to be me. And I wasn't meaning to be like overly simple or silly with that, but the more that you go deep within, the more that really simple answers seem to answer everything. And so what I mean by that is that, well, I'm just trying to think of when I first started this journey, and I shared this recently with a friend. It was almost ingrained into my mind. I think it was like 16, 17 years old. And I was first discovered oracle cards and, discovered and felt like I could actually play and connect more so to the energy that I sensed as a child, and had kind of some directive and some explanations shared with me from others that have been doing it for longer than I. So I pulled, and I was very clear. It was at the time when I was very, very uncertain. I was teaching yoga at the time at a studio, and I was getting further into truth and really breaking down the energy within words, and so really starting to practice trying to be very clear in how I shared self. And I met with like the owners at that studio at the time, and it was, very, very kind of like this kind of peace, love type of connection. But I felt just like so coerced, and actually felt so manipulated in the conversation, and in how they were trying to be this kind of compassionate way of sharing information, to give them an answer if this is what my purpose was. If this is, and because of course, in knowing that that was my purpose, then that they could know that I would kind of commit to them, to their studio, to doing work for them for a longer period of time. And I was just feeling this immense cloud and uncertainty around that purpose, and around what was future and what could I offer, even though I was offering things that felt aligned and felt true at the time. And so in that conversation, I couldn't give them an answer. And I just shared, I was like, listen, I'm right now just going to embrace 100% my uncertainty. I'm right now cannot give you any answer with certainty and with clarity. Let's leave it at that. And so I went home and, had a good ball, and had, some time to just really make peace with not knowing. Especially as a seer, we can be extra, self-flagellating about that when you have those points of uncertainty. And of course, and this is what I share now always, is that once you kind of really accept that moment of uncertainty and give up the knowing, then clarity does come. And that has shown in many, many cycles since then. So you may be at a point, for some of you that are listening to this, you may be at a point to just give up, like just to throw in the towel and just say, you know what? I don't know. I have no clue. And get comfortable with it. See what comes up in the resistance of not knowing. And then once you get comfortable and move through the healing process that comes around any of the emotions that will come up around not knowing, the self-judgments, all of that self-deprecation. In the most simplistic moment, could be you're playing a silly video game on your phone, or cooking dinner, or washing the dishes, you will receive it. But I didn't get to the first oracle card session. So in that story, I came home and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm embracing the uncertainty. This is it. I don't know. And I pulled a card spread. And the card spread, and I literally, thank you for Spirit and for my team that ingrained this card spread. I've done multiple readings in my life. I don't remember all of them, but this one I remember. And it was from probably like one of my aunt's first oracle card decks that had lots of angels and sweet things in them. And I was like, I need to know what my purpose is. What is the path? What is my path? Tell it to me now. And I pulled 3 cards. And these 3 cards, the first one was yoga, which I kind of laughed at because I was literally at that time teaching yoga. The second card was Reiki. And then the third card was child. And of course, at that time, in that level of uncertainty, and at that point on my life path, I, of course, like anyone, when you get an oracle card spread, you're like, well, I need to figure it all out now. I need to know all of the points now. And so I tried to kind of connect the dots. I worked on seeing, oh, okay, well, yoga makes sense because that's what I'm doing now. And I have been like, I was going to start doing the Reiki levels and trainings. So that makes sense. But child, I'm not understanding at all what that energy is. And I don't really feel like I'm supposed to do kids yoga, but maybe that's what I should do. Have you ever gone through these type of points when you kind of try to make something fit? How you try to make what energy or information that is shared to you at a time, at a point within the now, right? Which is, of course, that future and past cycles, our gorgeous time cycles of growth and of healing. I tried to make it all make sense at that point in time. And of course, it didn't make sense. I tried to. I figured I was just all super flummoxed and of course it didn't make sense because it makes sense to me now. It actually was going, Josie, it doesn't matter if you don't know what is more than one step ahead. If you know what you are doing now feels good to you, keep doing it, which was yoga. And I did. That was the one thing that I could really figure out. And I naturally then started to add in the Reiki. And then again, though, thinking, and it was funny, I think why I remember this reading so much, because then at a later time when I was doing the Reiki, I was like, oh my God, what's my purpose? What am I going to do? And then like and it was literally the 3 same cards. And I was like pulling my hair up by this point and going, okay. So when you receive guidance, when you receive even what's coming through now, today, right? Take what you need from it now to allow yourself to move through those couple steps ahead. Because in a life purpose, in discovering purpose, those steps that you receive are part of your purpose. They are part of the journey, right? Our purpose is not that you just receive, you are meant to be a doctor, right? Some people might receive such a clear thing, and that's exactly what they're meant to do. And that purpose, that soul's work of them being a doctor will allow them to receive all of the gifts, all of the healing that comes with doing and working and walking your path. Because the path of purpose, your true path, that isn't someone else's, that isn't mine, that isn't your neighbor's, that isn't your best friend's. Your path, your purpose is the path that you are walking now. And those intuitive nudges, as we continue to move through these cycles of clearing, refining, revealing, healing, right, that is naturally part of the purposeful path. That is part of the path for you to continue to expand, grow, and refine your soul's work. And so, is this making sense? I bought Reiki. Okay. Think about Reiki. You just mentioned it. Okay. And I told myself you're going to be a master Reiki healer. Beautiful. Yes. Okay. This is so funny. Oh, hello, Sabrina. I see you just came on. We were just having this conversation, you know? So along this soul's path, right? Why yoga and Reiki assisted me to get to where I am now in knowing 100% with complete certainty and complete clarity that what I am doing and that what I am offering is exactly my soul's work. I don't need to prove it. I don't need to justify it. It just is. I just know that it is truth. Feels good to say that out loud. Is that the path there is gifting you the things you need to gather. The path along your purposeful path is gifting you the things that you would need to access the healing, the aligning to you. They are part of the purposeful path. And that slowly, like what I gained from yoga, huge. I would not be here. I would not be doing what I am today without that step. What I gained from Reiki, same thing. What I and gaining from those points in my journey, I gained things and I also let go of some things. I saw things that aligned with my truth, with my authentic path, and I saw things that misaligned. But we are taught, back to this work thing about being that our work, our purpose need to be aligned and connected 100%. And that once they are aligned and connected 100%, they will gift you everything. You will be abundant, happy, peaceful, and joyful. Is along that path, there was definitely some joyful moments, and there was definitely some times of deep alignment and deep happiness and deep flow. But there was also moments when the healing and the transcendence occurred, and when I started to see and shift perspectives and see what used to bring me such deep joy, flow, integrity, and alignment it fell off. And so then I knew that what was gained, received, and released within that part of my path was meant to then be let go of, and then to embrace the uncertainty between. So be it that you are in a moment of certainty or uncertainty on what you are meant to do with your life, know that you are doing it. You are doing it. You are on your purposeful path. You are doing and honoring your purpose. You are moving through with the utmost integrity that you can now, with the utmost truth and authenticity that you can offer and share now. And why I always add now to it is, of course, because that what feels authentic, what feels truth, what feels aligned at this point in time may shift as you shift. That's the beauty of spring, right? That's the beauty of growth, is that we are in constant states of shifting. Constant change is the one constant. So in knowing that, then we don't have to latch on to the intensity and the speed of growth, knowing that growth will continue. It's like the new moon and the full moon cycles will continue next month. Spring will continue. It will come again next year. And the gorgeousness about that, and maybe you don't find this to be gorgeous, but I'm just like, I find it so comforting to know that that this is not the last spring. This is not the last time that you will be able to grow. Just like this coming fall will not be the last time that you will be able to shed. So in that knowing of the continuous constant time, that even in the speed of growth that is sensed, you can still honor your true north, honor your internal access, honor that what is certain may just be the next step in front of you, which might be like, I'm just going to eat some food and I am going to watch some TV or play a game. Or it might be that I'm doing something that gives me some peace and some joy at some time. And then slowly but surely along the path, moving at a pace that is more allowing for all that you are, that is more accepting of the rhythm and pace for your healing, for your release, as well as for your receiving. You will naturally be guided. Your body will naturally allow you to step forwards to the next point. And so what does this mean with of course that 3-card spread is yoga, Reiki, child, right? I took the child thing so literally. I actually even did it for a point. I mentored and taught and worked with kids, and I learned so much from them, and absolutely it has assisted me so much. But I knew that my work was with adults. It was with the parents more so than the kids, because kids carry a frequency. They carry an energy that of truth, of innocence. And that frequency is what, of course, this alignment and this work that we do of speaking our truth, of doing our healing, of building boundaries so that we can feel safer and protected, and then finally be able to be more joyful and be able to wonder and imagine and create all that we wish to within our lives. I realized that that last card was sharing the frequency and the energy that I've been guided to very clearly to work within adults in the past couple of years. And this was a card reading that I did 16, 17. So instead of in honoring your purpose, in honoring your path, in honoring your truth, that is now. Ask yourself, what are the next steps forward this spring that may feel a little uncomfortable, might be coming a little out of your comfort zone, might feel a little cricky, growing into a bit more of self, might feel like a good challenge. Ask yourself what that is. And then the practice is to trust that the growth received, the healing that is guaranteed, that comes with those choices. That comes in who you are now, that comes in what you work with now, that comes with how you guide now. The practice then is to trust that that will bring you to a point, once again, of uncertainty, of mystery, of the unknown. Because within that mystery, within that uncertainty, that's like accessing a creation point. It's accessing a point of limitless possibility. In the unknown, When the next steps are clouded, it is asking you to go, do you wish to shift perspective? Do you wish to turn right, turn left, do a twirl? Hmm. So to know that when the clarity comes, walk forwards, give yourself a little challenge. And if you're in a point of uncertainty, then the practice and process coming up towards equinox is to embrace it, is to allow yourself to dive into the non-seeing, allow yourself to dive into the non-knowing, and not dive into the over-analyzing, the trying to connect the dots, the trying to figure it all out, the trying to make it all make sense. That mystery is literally that, it's like the center. Did you feel it? I don't know if some of you weren't there at the beginning of this session when we did that first centering meditation. You know, it's at that center. It's dipping into the complete unknown. And it's risky because you won't be able to go, I have a certificate that shares with me protocol of how to do, of how to do this step. I don't have a step 1 to 10 list of this is what to do within the unknown. It's the unknown. So what I'm guided to share tonight, and it's neat, there was one card that popped out. This gorgeous card from Plant Spirit Oracle deck. Elk of Light. Oh, wow. And the words that are below are protection, refuge, and guardianship. And the only thing that is guaranteed is change. When the only thing that is certain is movement. It can be challenging, to say the least, to trust that you are protected, safe. And they made their presence known very clearly at the end of February, going like, listen, hello, if you're not connecting yet, connect to your ancestors. Ask and call your guardians in. Guardians of your soul, guardians of your entire being. And it is a must to know that you are safe on this journey, safe even if you're stepping into a moment of unknown. You are incredibly and immensely protected. And so in that knowing, and if that is going, you're like, I'm not 100% sure yet, just reach out to me. We can do some energy work together. No problem. We'll bring your ancestors out. We'll bring your guardians out. You'll feel it all of a sudden. Foster that sense of security so that then the truth, the authenticity, speaking your truth, walking your path, doing what you are being nudged to do in the purposeful path, you will be able to make more assured steps. You'll feel that you're more capable of taking the big leaps, taking the big jumps at times that spring or fall asks of us. I know that I talk usually more. If you wish to come onto YouTube at this point in time, I know YouTube allows me to stay for longer than an hour. YouTube Live, I don't know if it does. So if I peter out, just know I will continue it still on YouTube. I like it because it never gives me a time limit. So in this preparations for March, allow yourself to dive into what you feel uncertain about. Allow yourself to dive into the discomforts of growth. Allow yourself to dive into the areas that may be resisting your next steps, that might still feel, I don't know, I'm scared, and all of that good stuff. I know it well. Dive into the areas that feel that you have found a very specific point of comfort, and that comfortable is good for a time. And if you need still that level of comfort, if you feel still that you are an open and frayed being with no support and no protection built and garnished within your very being, then to continue comforting yourself and know that you can be very timid in your step because it is your path. The pace that is promised within spring, I love it. It's just as even today I said there was promise and energy in the air now, but the equinox is not till the 20th. The beauty of these time frames is that it shares an ish within time. It shares that there is the only pressure or push you may feel is more societal, is more from how we've been educated to do. But when you tap into natural time and the cycles of nature, you know that there is more ishness. There's like, okay, you can start today, or you can start on the 20th, or you can start on the 22nd, or you can start when that moment of clarity comes. Questions coming up. Guided to take a little sip, and you're welcome to pop in a chat. I'm just going to see if I missed anything. Equinox, if you wish to, hello latecomers. If you wish to join me for an equinox ritual, I have actually a registration link for the online session on my Instagram link tree, and I will also place one on YouTube. March 20th, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're welcome to join me for ceremony to bring in this energy, to step in and to step further on your purposeful path with greater intention and with great clarity. Did this one come out last month? Not sure. Fearless. Okay. I'd love to hear what, or if any of you feel is your definition of being fearless. I will share mine. But if there are certain cycles of fears that are coming up right now, I'm very grateful for, in my connection with spirit, I usually receive a channeled meditation series once a year. Maybe I'll receive more than once a year this year, who knows? But this time around, I was very guided to share it on YouTube. Usually I share it just to the people that work with me. to somewhat protect the energy, to to guard the energy. And it took me a moment to kind of check in about that and process why I was so afraid to share certain energy work in a more, I guess, publicly accessible setting. And it felt that it was because I rationalized this fear um, as me trying to protect, as I just shared, protect the public for just in case, because I've seen it. I've seen people come to me that have done multiple things from different people on YouTube and then come to me with like massive kundalini awakenings and massive energy shifts that they just weren't able to handle. And then we slowly ground and try to assimilate and acclimate their body back together. So maybe from that, there was a fear base of not sharing some of this work more publicly. And so in actually getting the nudge to record this healing meditation journey, which came in 3 parts, that's up on my YouTube, and sharing it completely, just going, here it is, was a very intense process for me. And so I went and sat with what I kind of already analyzed and thought were the fears. And then I realized that, of course, what we think we are protecting someone else from, we have to then kind of go, well, journey in. And what I realized was that there was still a part of me that fully didn't trust that the power that I access with energy work. There was something that still was latent, and I guess the dismantling of all these power structures around us that we are doing currently, of thinking that, oh, this power can maybe it will hurt someone. Maybe it's too much. And so I realized that I was still a little afraid of my own power. And it's not saying when I speak of my power, know that it's not me saying that I am more powerful than you. This is no better than less than. It's just when you access and work with your gifts, when you work and access and move with your truth, as you will naturally connect more and more so to that center and to that power. And so there was a big shift in that, in even the process, because of course I did the healing journey as well. And seeing these old fears come in and starting to allow those to really profoundly release. And I kind of then just it was like, well, wait a second. The most and the biggest power of all is a person's choice, right? Each and every one of you who's listening to this live now has chosen to be here. And those who may listen to this later on the replay have chosen to listen, right? That choice is our power. And so that is the protection, right? The protection is your choice. And so our work further and further is to acquire to the power of choice so that we can then make choices that align more and more with self and more with our path and more with our truth. And so that was what was the protection. And so by then offering this more on to the general public, YouTube, I was realizing that this was more than just a way of sharing a deeply healing process for those that may not have access yet, or the time or the space to access, further energy work with me. It was something that was very effective, that was deeply clearing and deeply healing that could be shared to all. And so I saw, by processing and moving through that fear, actually the gift, the beauty of it. And as you can see, I move through stories when I pull cards. And it's neat. I'm sharing a lot of stories about self, but that's because I'm not hearing any other voices. So when I see fearless is not asking you to be rash in your decision making, to jump forward without fear, like get rid of all the fears and just go out and do. Fearless is being able to honor your true choice, to honor your power, to honor the unique power and gifts that you possess, that you carry. And then to make sometimes those scary or uncomfortable decisions that actually, in then the internal process of allowing the fear, allowing the uncertainty to surface, you can then discover how beautiful those that wish to protect you, those that wish to guide you, those that wish to be alongside you on your journey and share with you these little, you can do it, and push you forward, have been there by your side the whole time. And that you finally trusting that nudge, trusting that step forward, be it as simple as I just shared, of sharing a healing meditation for me in a more public way, but trusting that nudge and then going forwards and doing it enabled a greater healing and a greater a shift of perspective, honoring the change, honoring the growth, so that I could bring more clarity forwards. Fearlessness, processing fears, facing the fears, facing the discomforts with compassion. We'll honor when it feels like a storm, when things feel superbly uncertain and are just moving all around you, and it's hard to find your ground, or how hard to know what is next. It will help you just trust and surrender to that one step. So I leave you. You're welcome to bring up any questions or any other nudges that are coming up. But if not, I feel my message tonight is complete. I leave you with the question of, what do you do when uncertainty or fear shows up? And are you able to face both in compassion and in knowing that if you embrace the uncertainty, if you allow yourself to process the fear and trust that that is not at the center of you, it's surfaced and come up, be it in mind, be it in heart, to share what is going through you, to embrace those moments, to really dive into them and surrender to that movement, to allow the mind to turn off the process of trying to analyze why. And then to see from that surrender There's a surrender and a peace in those moments of not knowing. There is a silence point. There is a point when you see the surface or the fear or the freak out that surfaces and you kind of go, that is not me. That is a part of me that is trying to fix it, fix this not knowing, fix this stepping out of the boundaries, stepping beyond your comfort zone. But in that deep and certain mysterious space, there is a peace. And once you can sense that peace, then you also, within that same point, it might not be simultaneous. It does become faster over time. You will tap into what is beyond that peace. Which is curiosity, wonder, clarity of the creator within you. Of what you can bring forward on your path, in your journey. Be it that it is guiding and assisting others, be it that it is working with something specifically for you. And if you are so guided, I am stepping out into the discomfort of growth to share a gathering of truths opened with the key that I carry. A 12-step journey in circle. Sacred Union Mentorship. Where we can cultivate, nourish, and grow our gifts, our truth, as we explore and move beyond our binaries, our boundaries within them, build greater awareness of our safety and intrinsic capacity to protect self. It's a journey, it's a circle, and it's a soul's work. It is work and it is information that I will share from all that I have gathered on all the points that have brought me to here now. So if you are interested in joining, I will place some more information to Sacred Union for you to read. And then you can always reach out and we can connect for a tea, be it burdock or another, and see how it can assist you in embracing this change, the constant, the fluidity, to find more of the center within the storm, and to look at your fears that surface as beautiful points to further shed the things that may not serve the growth that you are currently in. That made sense. Oh. So you are invited to a lot of things, That's me with March energy. So just to recap, equinox ritual. If you're excited to be in ceremony with me, ceremonies tend to be about 2.5 hours ish. Time is always an ish when it comes to ritual. And that can be easily registered via Linktree. I'll also place the Zoom link below. If you are capable always at the time and you wish to, I share a sliding scale donation for the ceremony. But if you are unable, I also share ways to gift that current, that energy reciprocity towards Earth. So that is if you wish to step through this gateway together. Also, if you are interested in trying some energy work and healing, the healing meditation journey, part 1 to 3 is up on my YouTube channel. And the one thing I would recommend is honor your cycles. So know that deep clearing work that is contained within that 3-part journey. Don't do it more than 2 times within a moon cycle. Allow your body will need to acclimate to all that is cleared and all that is shifted within mind and heart. So that is up and accessible if you wish to try some work with me. And then if you are feeling the call to step further into really understanding your gifts, really connecting to your frequency, to your truth, and to do it in a practice ground, right? In circle, where we then practice how to communicate truths with compassion and how to honor multiple pathways, honor differences, as we explore further beyond. Then that would be Sacred Union Mentorship that commences April 22nd. And I will place more information in my links, both in Instagram as well as in YouTube. It's 1:22:11. Okay, I feel that is a very good time to stop. I've been getting 11:22 a lot, so that's cute that I just saw that in the time of recording. I thank you all for sitting with me, be it for a little time or for the whole message that came through. And I look forward to connecting with you if our paths cross again, and if you so choose. I honor your power. I honor your truth. I thank you. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for sharing space. And thank you for honoring my eyes going back up and down. Let me know. I'll review it too and see if this is a good thing to do forwards, of allowing, New Moon Oracle, which is usually just on YouTube, to also be on IG. So I thank you for honoring this process. It was me also stepping a little outside of my comfort zone, but I really enjoyed being able to see new faces and some additional chats. Take care. Mwah. Rest well. And